G'day guys, Billy here. This is my third attempt at making a video for you as people keep turning up and talking to me. It's actually my fourth attempt. I had 3 people turn up and interrupt me while I'm making these videos. Guys, I'm not a big fan of talking in front of a camera when people are around. Just depends on the mood. I mean, like, there was a young bloke just there. He saw a subwoofer on top of a car. I've got one at home, but that one on top of the car I'll show you in a minute stuff. But I've got a really good one at home, a nice Kenwood subwoofer. And he wants one for his car he's just brought. So I said to him I'll give it to him on Friday, but you know, I asked if he was on the internet, broadband and so forth at home. He said no, he's not on the internet. Usually I ask people, fellas, if I'm in the mood, I say, you on the internet at home, do you have broadband? And if they say yes, well, that's when I start talking about flat earth to people, try and wake them up to flat earth. But it's pretty pointless trying to talk to people about flat earth if they haven't got the internet at home, because they can't really research it. And if they're on the internet, you've got that confidence to talk to them. They go home right now and look at flat earth and write down the YouTube channels for them, and they'll go home and look at it and hopefully be blown away and slowly wake up. But yeah, he was a nice bloke. I was going to mention flat earth, but no, it wasn't worth it, guys. But anyway, fellas, if any of you guys at home are not aware of flat earth, it's really real, guys. I'm not joking. Millions of people are waking up. I keep on saying it, but if only you saw what's happening on the internet, fellas. This has been happening since 2015, and so many people are waking up, guys. And YouTube, Google, all the media and so forth, it's all being censored, fellas. It's all being censored. So, like, for example, if you enter just the simple keywords flat earth on YouTube right now, flat earth, the first probably 20 or 30 videos are going to be flat earth debunking videos, because they just don't want people to wake up. Videos about flat earth and fake space, ridiculing the flat earth theory, fellas. And YouTube censorship proves that flat earth is real as well, guys. They just don't want people to wake up. They want us to be all kept as dumbed down slaves, fellas. It's so hard to wake people up. I try and wake people up every time I come to certain towns and talk to them about flat earth, and most of the time they literally back away from me, and they start smiling. Some people do. They start giving you that crazy look, think you're crazy. It's pretty funny, fellas, but I've only really woken up probably a couple of people, and yeah. But anyway, guys, so I'm just doing a bit of scrapping, and picked up some nice bike rims and so forth. I know that young bloke then just dropped off this air conditioner. Looks like he's taken the aircon out. So anyway, fellas, there's 3 new cars over here. We'll go and show you. So there's a Nissan Pajero right here, guys, and a nice Ford Explorer. And I'm just about to take this cast aluminium tyre rim off, and we'll talk about something else when I take that tyre rim off, fellas. Hopefully no one will turn up. Anyway, I've got a subscriber, Luke, the car wreck hunter. He's based in Perth, Australia, so he goes to places and finds abandoned cars and does videos on them. And Luke asked me to rip off any car badges for him, so I've got you some ones right here, Luke. So we'll just keep on looking, mate. Let me build up a few for you before I send them to you. So, and I'll take that XLT off before I go as well. And there's 3 more Ford badges. That Ford badge there too, Luke, I damaged, mate, when I was taking it off, so I'll probably toss it out. And that's a subwoofer. I've got a subwoofer at home. I'm going to give to that bloke for free. So anyway, guys, let's take this car rim off. But anyway, fellas, before I start, I got about 8 aluminium tyre rims. These are for my mate Bob. He makes beautiful sculptures and windmills out of these bike rims, so Bob's going to be happy with that. A nice double stainless steel kitchen sink, so that'd be perfect for not really for scrapping possibly, but I'd rather use that to make a beautiful frog and tadpole pond out of that, guys. So I've got one at home already, which is full of beautiful baby banjo frog tadpoles, and they've only just laid a nest in the last couple of weeks. I saw it in the pond the other day, a beautiful foamy nest of eggs. And just an old iron gate there, guys, I'll give to my farm mate Dale for his farm. But some of these old iron gates are actually very, very collectible, guys. So if you do a bit of scrapping in Australia, keep an eye out for the old iron fence gates. But some of them date back from the early 1900s, and they've got beautiful Art Deco squirrels on them, curls and all that kind of stuff from the old blacksmith days. And yeah, nothing special, guys, but this is just the first stop basically. So we'll take this tyre rim off, we'll set up my camera, and we'll talk about the mud flood, guys. I bet you a lot of you guys haven't even heard about the mud flood. So hopefully you can hear me alright, fellas, so let's go. So anyway, guys, just one cast tyre on this. It's too good to refuse, I don't know. Even these tyre rims I could easily sell, but most of them I just scrap. But anyway, guys, the mud flood. This is another thing that's been happening for a couple of years now. Not millions, but tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people around the world are waking up to this amazing research what's been happening in Europe, Australia, America. And what happened was a massive mud flood went through Earth in the 1800s, the early 1800s, and what they're saying is there was a huge reset. Millions of people got killed by this huge mud flood. Basically they're saying it was like a huge Earth reset where just hundreds of millions of people got wiped out by this huge mud flood, and there's evidence everywhere, all over Europe, England, America, even Australia, even in Perth. There's evidence, but mainly there's a lot of evidence over in Sydney, Melbourne, on the other side of Australia. I'm on the western side. So with this mud flood, apparently somehow a huge mud flood wiped out massive swathes of land all around the world, and there's evidence everywhere, all over Europe, America, guys. So if you guys come from England, America and so forth, have a look at your really old buildings dating back to the early 1800s, 1600s, earlier, and you'll see a lot of the buildings, the architecture has been covered by soil. Like you'll see normal house windows, hopefully you can see me, guys, but you'll see normal house windows like in Amsterdam, London and all of that, or you know, these ancient buildings, churches, pubs, you know, everything, you name it, guys. But there's soil what's covering like half windows, and it's been like that for hundreds of years. So there'll be a normal house or building window and it's covered with soil. And in Paris there's evidence of this, but below this mud is like old 10-story buildings. It's kind of hard to explain, guys, without seeing the evidence, so I'll put a video below in this link to show you the evidence of this massive mud flood what went through. And they're saying that you know, our history's been hidden. It was pretty obvious that everything's a lie. This earth we live on is just a total lie, guys. They don't want people to wake up. But yeah, so there's so many buildings where the mud comes up to the windows or above windows or halfway up to the windows. And you know, there's so much other evidence, like for example, where are the old cemeteries, guys, from the 1600s? You know, there's no evidence of any cemeteries dating back 300 or 400 years, and it's all just been buried by this massive mud flood. I'm not an expert, guys, you know, I'm not really that good at talking about scientific subjects and so forth, or I haven't got the best tongue. You know, I kind of get a bit confused. I'm not an expert, unfortunately. I wish I could really talk and sound really confident and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, guys, I'll show you the evidence of this mud flood by putting some links to this, these videos below with some really amazing YouTube channels. So it's not just the mud flood guy, I mean it's not just flat earth and fake space. The earth really is flat, and there's so much evidence, guys. Every single scientific fact has been smashed to pieces by normal everyday people like me and you. And another thing too, guys, very shortly I'm going to be sending up a high altitude balloon over my hometown in Dumbayong, West Australia. I plan on releasing it from a place called Pussycat Hill in Lake Dumbayong. And this balloon, it's going to cost me at least probably $1,000 just for the balloon to get sent to me. It's a high altitude balloon, guys. It's going to go up to about around 30 kilometers in the sky, way higher than a normal airline. And we're going to use a normal camera. We're going to use two different cameras. We're going to use a camera what's got infrared, so you're going to be able to see a lot further with this camera. And we're going to use a non-fisheye lens camera, fellas. And you know, this is how we've all been brainwashed. Whenever NASA and all that sends up their fake rockets and all the other fake things they do, all we ever do see, guys, is the landscape of the earth with a fisheye lens. So these fisheye lenses make the earth look curved, and but whereas people send up these amazing high altitude balloons and there's no evidence of curvature at all, guys. You can see for, you know, thousands and thousands of kilometers when you're up 30 kilometers in the sky. So like I say, NASA and all the science is getting smashed to pieces, guys. There's no evidence at all about curvature of the earth. And that's why it's all being censored, guys. Not just the curvature. Like I say, fellas, when NASA and all that send up all their rockets, it's all fake, guys. You know, NASA astronauts have been caught heaps of times with wires hanging when they do their circles in space, and they flip upside down to a 360. There's been NASA astronauts being caught with wires hanging down underneath their shoulders. They've been caught using wire harnesses. So as I say, fellas, it's all filmed with CGI, Photoshop, and like I say, the International Space Station, there's no International Space Station up there, guys. There's no satellites at all. Like where we come from, every town in Australia and every town around the world, there's usually 3 big antennas in every town, and that's how they bounce off all the radio and TV signals, using these antennas that are located in every town. Another thing too, guys, is with satellites, you know, that's all fake. How we get our internet broadband is just from all the undersea wire cables what go around this amazing flat earth. So our satellite broadband is basically just pumped out using undersea water cables. Like I saw the other day on a news website, that Christmas Island it's an island which is quite isolated off the coast of Western Australia, and they've got no internet at all on that island, you know. So they're relying on Singapore to do a big undersea water cable from Singapore to Christmas Island just so they can get broadband internet. So I'll put an article to that Christmas Island, but you know, it's just all these satellites and all that, guys, it's all fake. You know, if the satellites were real, when you see the full moon, all you would see was satellites going past the full moon. You know, there's supposed to be hundreds of thousands of satellites and space debris up in space, and no one's ever seen it. There's not one real photo of a real satellite in space. You Google real satellite on Google and it's all going to be CGI, Photoshop and everything else like that, guys, so it's all fake. But like I say, this mud flood, fellas, so many people are waking up to this massive mud flood, and not just that, hidden empires. There's an amazing empire called Tartaria in northern Russia, and basically that empire was wiped out for a certain reason, and even people are saying these days that we're not actually living in the year 2019. We're living in the year 1019, guys. People are finding evidence all around the world on ancient maps, artwork, historical documents that they wiped off 1,000 years of our history. So, like I say, fellas, look up this mud flood. I'll put some amazing channels below. I mean, it sounds crazy what I'm talking about, but yep, it's really true, guys. A massive mud flood went through. They've wiped off 1,000 years of our history. Flat Earth, fake space, all real, guys. Like I say, millions and millions of people are waking up to flat Earth, fake space, and the mud flood. And that's why it's all being censored, fellas. That's why people are getting the YouTube channels terminated, and yeah. So, you know, it sounds crazy, guys. And when you see all these trolls who troll flat Earth and all that, you know, these trolls are paid to troll, guys. Most of them are military. A lot of them are Jews, Jewish people. They just don't want people to wake up, guys. Oh, I stuffed up, guys. Got to get my jack out. Oh, I'll be able to get that. Beautiful, guys. So, just a bit of scrap. Cast aluminium tyre rim, pretty good condition. I'll probably scrap it. But anyway, fellas, check out the links below, and I appreciate you watching. Tomorrow, guys, I'm going for a big road trip tomorrow, so we're going to go to a couple of isolated rubbish dumps just north of my hometown and hopefully find some more good scrap metal, trash and treasure. So I'll probably do 2 or 3 videos out there, guys. I stumbled across an abandoned railway track out where I'm going, so we're going to go for a walk down that old abandoned railway track, and hopefully we might find some old bottles, relics, horseshoes, and who knows what else. We'll look at some of the beautiful wildlife and tree and wildflower species or whatever, and yeah, but like I say, hopefully we'll find something good. So tomorrow and in the next few days as well, I'm going to be planting over 1,000 trees, guys. I've been collecting heaps and heaps of different tree seeds, so I've got over 1,000 trees to plant in these little tiny pots, and I'll be planting some of them in my backyard when they become mature, but a lot of them, most of them will be getting planted in areas that are really struggling around my hometown, because where I come from, West Australia, guys, our land is being completely destroyed by land clearing, by salinity. We've got not one single freshwater river left in southern West Australia, guys, because of all this land clearing. All the farmers cleared the land over 100 years ago. Every single river has died, guys. I mean, literally died. So you can just imagine the billions of animals that have just been wiped out due to this land clearing. Not blaming the modern day farmers these days, guys. It's not their fault, or even the old farmers from 100 years ago. It's our government's fault, guys. But anyway, they didn't realise that all this land clearing would destroy the land. So like I say, fellas, there's not one single living river left in southern West Australia, and the same goes over in the eastern states. They've got the same problem too with salinity. A lot of the rivers and the lakes turn to salt, where once, over 100 years ago, they were beautiful fresh water full of beautiful birds and fish and everything else, frogs, tadpoles, but now there's basically nothing left. We do get heaps of beautiful birds on these rivers still, but all the rivers are totally dead. When you look at these rivers, guys, they're completely white because the rivers are covered in salt. It's like the Dead Sea, or even snow, guys. All these rivers are totally white, and it kind of looks like snow when you look at them. Yeah, it's really sad. So anyway, got a busy week ahead of me today, guys, so let's go up there. We'll see what else we can find. If I find anything good, I'll do a video. So I've got that domestic waste dump to go to, we've got the garden waste section to go to, and about 4 bins, and like I say, it's about 11:30, 12 o'clock right now, and I'll come back in a few hours time. So after this, go and have some lunch and come back about 2 o'clock and see what else we can find. But like I say guys, try and wake up to flat earth, the mud flood, fake space, and I'll put some links below to this mud flood and some amazing channels. And also there's one of my subscribers called Captain Kirk. He's one of the guys who really wake me up to the mud flood, hidden history, and so much more. So I'll put Captain Kirk's YouTube channel below. He's one of my really good subscribers that always comments on my video. Cheers Kirk, and thanks everyone. See ya. Let's go Banjo. Alright, see you fellas. Catch you later. The dogs are patiently waiting for me. There's a kangaroo. There's a crow. I do that for Sophie guys. And she barks usually at home. She hates crows. See you fellas.